Product Presentation 89. Features and benefits. Product knowledge. 6-point walkarounds and more. Now here's your host, Tom Park.
The featured automobile is the Acura Legend Coupe, the newest offering from Acura. Our salesperson is Neil Hayes, Director of Training at Dean Acura. Neil is also a graduate of the Art Center College of Design, specializing in automobile technology and design. As such, he believes Acura offers the epitome of state-of-the-art technology and design. Shopping the Acura today is Marie Cesny. Marie is a young professional businesswoman working for a computer company. She has recently been given a promotion that includes a healthy car allowance, healthy enough that she's able to shop for a top-of-the-line vehicle. As a businesswoman, Marie is looking for a car that matches her business style and that would be appropriate for transporting clients to and from meetings. As many of her clients are in the high-tech industry, Marie wants a car with features that they will appreciate. As a consumer, she is aware of such new technologies as anti-lock brakes, heads-up instrument displays, and more. But she doesn't always understand what this technology will do for her. Because she will often be transporting clients as passengers, she's also very concerned with safety. She's been reading consumer reports and shopping other comparable vehicles. Now here's our salesperson, Neil Hayes.
When I use the sticker, I don't spend a great deal of time going over the features. But what I do use the features for is to establish, if you will, a hot button for the customer to find out what really is going to motivate them and what they're really looking for in the automobile. Now, Marie, we've looked at the other Acura automobiles we have available, the Integra, the Legend Sedan. We've narrowed down our choice to the Legend Coupe. We've looked at the L. This model that we're looking at right here is the LS model. In addition to the anti-lock brake system and the onboard computer for monitoring the engine controls, we also have standard in the LS a supplemental restraint system.
What's that?
The supplemental restraint system is an airbag. It's deployed in the event of a frontal accident to protect you from injury of hitting the steering column.
Okay, I'm real concerned with safety features. I've just looked at the Volvo, and I've read some interesting information in Consumer Reports about, safety as far as, the car not really collapsing as far as impact goes. So, if you could touch on some of those little features, I'd be, I'm interested in that.
That's more than important. Remember that safety is an attitude. It begins with the engineering of the car. This vehicle, by the way, is rated #1 by the NHTSA for passenger and driver safety. And if we could take a walk to the front of the car, I'll show you how they've incorporated some energy-absorbing features besides the supplemental restraint system, not only to protect you in the event of an accident, but to minimize repair costs so the car can be repaired easily in a body shop.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You've just seen Neil demonstrating an important lesson for all of us. When going through the list of standard equipment on a vehicle, you want to be sure to cover each item, but don't bore the customer to tears. Be sure to give them time to respond or ask questions, because you might trigger a strong buying signal from the prospect. For example, as Neil was describing the Acura's supplemental restraint system, Marie immediately voiced her concern for safety, adding that she had already shopped the Volvo and indicating that she had read something in Consumer Reports about cars and safety. Neil quickly picks up the ball and runs with it, using this opportunity to discuss his manufacturer's attitude towards safety, while promising more energy-absorbing safety features at the next position, the front of the car.
Okay, Marie, are you ready to see what powers the car of the future here?
Yeah, I guess. That's a little complex.
It looks that way at the first initial impression, but actually the engine is quite simple. What we have here is a front-wheel drive layout. It's a transverse mount, which means it goes side to side, front-wheel drive vehicle with the engine sitting on a separate subframe. As a matter of fact, there are 4 hydraulic mounts which the engine rests upon, which eliminate noise and vibration from being transferred back into the chassis. What's also really important about this design, it also enables the car to have a very progressive safety design, which is important to complement the supplemental restraint system. And also remember, we've got the security system right here with the alarm, and we also have the anti-lock brake system with 2 reservoirs. That's important. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What happens if the anti-locks go disengage and they do not work?
In any other car but this, you might have a longer stopping distance. With the Honda developed system, you will have another full-time braking system that will give you 97% of the car's full braking system, so you can come to a safe and a secure stop. Remember, the car has four-wheel disc brakes with load modulator ventilated discs up front. And what also is very, very important, Marie, just for your own peace of mind for maintenance and for taking care of the functions of the car, your coolant reservoir is a see-through reservoir here. You've also got your windshield washer reservoir right up front, easy to get to.
Important feature. That's the only thing I really know about the engine. Let me ask you this. What does a 24 valve mean then?
The 24 valve design means that the engine utilizes increased air and fuel to get power rather than adding more cylinders or slapping on a turbocharger, which might take away from the lifespan of the engine. Four valves give you more power per square foot, if you will.
Does that do anything to the fuel economy?
Sure does. It improves your fuel economy by about 30% and also the length of your engine life because the engine is working so efficiently. And remember that this also has standard program fuel injection, which again adds to the car's length of service intervals. Your first tune-up every 24 months, 2 years, or 22,500 miles. Oil changes every 7,500 miles or 6 months. And a very important feature, Marie, is the fact that the car has, besides an oil filter, an oil cooler, which helps keep the engine cool. A lot of forward thinking has gone into this to keep your costs low, which adds to the value of the product. And another nice feature of the car is the fact that if you do have any service work done on it, Acura provides for the Acura automobile a toll-free number that anyone can call, 1-800-4A-ACURA, to get information on the engine, that they have technicians waiting and available to answer questions about it. But again, 2 years in the running, #1 in customer satisfaction. We're seeing a sight that's not commonly associated with Acura as the hood open.
Did you notice at the engine compartment, Neil's presentation is especially strong. Remember that just as he opened the car's hood, Marie commented about how complex it all looked. However, Neil again reacted quickly, assuring his customer that while complex in appearance, ease of operation is the end result. Then, when describing the car's technological features, Neil was also careful to also relate them in plain, understandable language. Remember, Neil knows that Marie is aware of the technology available and wants it on her new car. But at the same time, she doesn't quite understand what some of that technology can do for her. So at each step along the way, Neil made certain he explained or highlighted how or why each would be important to Marie. It's this type of feature-benefit selling that will get results.
Okay, Marie, if we stand back and we take a look at the front of the car, we notice what they've done to incorporate the science of aerodynamics into the overall shape of the Legend Coupe. Aerodynamics is an overused terminology in the sense that aerodynamics is a science. The drag coefficient of this car is 0.030, which, just to throw that number out, means nothing. What it means is that the front of the car is designed to utilize the energy of air to not only give you better handling, but to utilize air through the front bumper and the grille system right in the front of the car here to provide cooling for the engine, also to provide flow through to help ventilate the interior body channels to eliminate rust and corrosion, which can build up inside the fender panels. It's a very innovative feature that they've incorporated in the design of the car. Composite headlamps here give you a much broader range of light for safety, and in your high beam mode, they give you what's called a splay feature, which will fill in a little bit of a blind spot of light that regular rectangular lights incorporate. The bumper system in the front of the car is a 5-mile-an-hour urethane design, but what's real significant about it, it employs a system that if this bumper is impacted, it will pull away from the main structure of the car and then flip up. And what's important about that, it minimizes side panel damage, which helps keep your insurance costs low. That's real important, because remember, the point of this car's engineering is to keep all factors of the car's investment as far as the value of the car low in return for the dollar that you spend for the car. And one of the nightmares people have is to own an expensive luxury car and not be able to enjoy it and drive it in the real world that we live in. In the case of the Legend Coupe, not only have they created a most beautiful design in the sense of automotive design, but they've also made a very realistic assessment of what's necessary for the car to work well in the environment it's going to be sold in. I think they've done a great job.
Neil obviously believes in his product. At the front of the car, we again see Neil continuing to sell what he knows the customer wants. He related the safety features of the bumper, the design technology that went into the flow-through bumper and grille assembly to air-cool the engine. And then he ties all this together, citing the car's low cost of operation, reassuring Marie that although she's purchasing a beautiful luxury car, it's built to be functional. Now, it's on to the rear of the car.
Marie, we've gone through the engine compartment and the front end design of the Acura Legend Coupe. This vehicle is designed under a module system, engine compartment, luggage compartment, and passenger compartment. We'll cover the passenger compartment in a few moments. What I want to point out to you now is the luggage compartment design that's so important to the engineering of the Legend Coupe. If you look inside here, Marie, you'll notice that the Legend Coupe trunk is designed with a lot of space for business and or personal recreational purposes. The way they've achieved that is that there's minimal intrusion into the trunk or luggage compartment because it uses a double wishbone independent rear suspension. Wow. The point of that is it gives you good ride quality and a lot of usable luggage space. And remember, this is a front-wheel drive car. Now, if I show you something here, you're going to be real impressed. Most manufacturers and or reps won't want to show you this because they're not proud of the attention to detail. Even the rear trunk compartment in this vehicle has an engineered feature that gives you a benefit. This vehicle was designed to give you excellent characteristics around NVH, which is noise, vibration, and harshness. Those have been minimized and engineered out of the chassis because, remember, this vehicle was designed utilizing software developed by NASA, so they are able to make sure that you have very, very high levels of ride and handling comfort and very low levels of noise intrusion into the passenger compartment.
Where are the tools for the spare tire?
The tools, Marie, are over here on the side, easy to get to, and if you have luggage in the luggage compartment or if you have software or other paperwork in here, the trunk has a very low lift over so you can get to it, but it's also so you won't have to take everything out of the trunk to get to your tools. Very important feature of the trunk design in this particular vehicle here is the fact that the trunk is designed to lift open very, very high so you can get in and out of the trunk very easily. But notice that it opens up over the rear window so that if it's raining...
Don't get anything wet.
Yeah, exactly. But what's most important is that you can also get into the trunk from either side. And at the rear of the car, you'll notice that you have very, very minimal intrusion from the fender lines. And also, I could point out to you that it has a high visibility tail lamps, high visibility turn signals, and of course your standard center high mounted safety light. But some nice features on it are its insulation and the fact that the vehicle has every area designed around an attention to detail, so you know you're getting a quality value in the design of the car.
You can't see that.
Now here at the trunk, Neil sells the features that are common to many of today's cars. Large trunk space, easy access, and a high-rise trunk lid. But remember this, Neil has gone to automotive design school, and here he uses that knowledge to reinforce an underlying theme in his presentation, namely that Acura is built to a higher standard than many other cars on the road today. Now he sells an attitude here by noting the attention to detail throughout the trunk area. As we move on to the side of the car, watch Neil again continue this theme into his presentation.
Marie, we've taken a look at the engine compartment. We know the dynamics of the engineering of the car. We've taken a look at the luggage compartment. We know the space available for not only luggage but for business purposes. But what's real important now is in taking an overall look at the Acura Legend Coupe, we have to take a look at whether or not the vehicle has successfully incorporated the important element of cachet that has visibility, its own particular personality. And when you look at the Legend Coupe, you can't help but mistake that the car has a certain presence. And what they've done is that they've engineered the passenger module and door compartment to not only give you good visibility as far as its roominess inside, but the proportions of the car also allow for good utilization of space, not only for the passenger compartment, but the car has a 106.2-inch wheelbase, so it gives you good ride quality, good handling characteristics, but what's real important, the number of features designed into the car are also going to contribute to the value of the car, because a lot of things such as its maneuverability, ease in parking spots has been maximized. In fact, if you take a look here, even the mirrors have been designed so that they're movable in the event that you're maneuvering the car and there should be a parking structure and you should impact that. It moves out of the way so you're not going to have expensive damage to the window and or the door frame area. The door frames, by the way, on this car are designed inside the door. There's no heavy upper frames because this is a true hardtop car. Remember, all the windows roll down on it. That's a nice little feature for ventilation and also just the styling and the look of the car, because the car does have that presence that's so important.
Next, Neil takes us inside the Acura to close out his presentation after this.
Marie, you might think that we've saved the best for last because we haven't. The very best is to drive the Acura. But up to this point, we've gone through the Acura phenomena. Now we're able to enjoy the Acura experience. And inside the passenger compartment of the Legend Coupe, we notice a number of really significant technologies designed and engineered into the car, not only for your convenience and comfort, but for your safety. Right in front of you there, the SRS that you see is our supplemental restraint system, which is standard in this car, and you're going to see in more cars as time goes on. We were the first in the industry to provide it standard in the LS models. What that's designed to do is that it will deploy. Now, you'd mentioned you were concerned about the possibility it'll just go off.
As far as a backup system, if the anti-lock does, you know, disengage, then is there the backup?
The anti-lock has a backup system, and this particular feature here, the SRS, the airbag system, has a number of systems designed into it so it won't just automatically deploy on its own. It will only be activated in the event of a major frontal accident, and the sensors determine it. Now, right in front of you, we don't have a dashboard. Wagons had dashboards. This is your instrument cluster. To your left, on the upper part of the cluster here, you'll notice that your cruise control button is housed. Why don't you push that in so you can see that? See, that'll glow green to let you know it's activated, and then very cleverly, yeah, you would press right here. And what's nice is that you can accelerate and decelerate and cancel without having to put your foot on the brake. You know why you would want that there?
No.
If you're going at a real fast clip, of course we're not encouraging speeding, you might alarm a driver if you put on your brake light. So that's a nice little feature for your convenience. Now, to your left, you have a control for your sunroof. Why don't you push that down and we'll see. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you push it up, it'll close it. All the things that you would want immediately without having to think about are available at your fingertip.
Yeah. And what's this over here?
That's
the
your
radio?
Well, radio is one way of putting it. What we have here is a sound system. And much more than just a radio, we have a Delco, or I should say a Delco Acura Bose sound system, where the speaker systems are actually designed for the interior environment of the car, taking into consideration 4 passengers and the entire interior environment of the car for maximum sound quality. And also, a real nice feature besides an AM/FM stereo and a cassette is the fact that this is a compact disc unit as well. Up here, Marie, we have the automatic temperature control, where you can just dial in your temperature. Or if you don't want to go that heavily automated, you know what's nice is that you can override it. You have the ability to say yes or no to automation. And then again, you just dial in your temperature here. And the LS also comes standard with your onboard trip and function computer, which tells you your current fuel economy, average fuel economy, time, distance to empty, how many miles you've elapsed on your trip, current and average fuel economy again. So you also always have that fuel information, but most important, for your maintenance intervals, it'll tell you when to check your engine oil level, coolant reservoir, washer fluid, and tell you
service?
Yeah, it tells you your next service and when it's due, and little bars will go on in progressive amounts to point out to you exactly when the car should and needs or requires service.
What happens if you just ignore it and it shows up? Does it flash or does it stay on or anything?
It doesn't take very well to ignoring it. Yeah, it won't stop the car, but what it will do is it'll point out to you that you should bring it in because a red light will go on and glow. I think a real important thing for you to do, why don't you pull behind you there? You'll notice that you have your seatbelt presenter set up. Pull that across to you. You notice how that seatbelt arrangement is very comfortable over your shoulder. Okay, and if you close that door to your left, you pull and close on that door. Go ahead, pull on that door. I want to point out something to you. Okay, hit that lock button. When you turn the ignition on this car, this particular car also gives you the multi-mode automatic transmission, which is best showed on the open road. So let's go.